Hey guys, James with Torches and Tactical, and today we're going to be going over a fantastic little keychain light from our friends over at Fenix. Now this is the E03R version 2. Yes, version 2, that means that they have already had one of these models out before, and this came with some very much needed upgrades and brought it into more modern times. So I have already opened this just to make it a little easier and faster for the video, but let's go ahead and dive in and go over some of these specifications. Alright guys, this is the E03R version 2. Now you can see a very nice copper looking button here, USB on the side, and that's pretty much it. You see the dual emitters here, but this is a 500 lumen keychain light from Fenix. And with that 500 lumens and these small TIR optics, you can get that light all the way out to 90 meters. Now, with the included battery pack, this will run for a total of up to 30 hours, and that includes 6 lighting modes as well as a pulse light here for the button. So all in, we do have a total of 3 LEDs here. You have the 2 main emitters running at 6500K, as well as in the center a red LED that will run through 2 separate lighting modes. And these 2 white LEDs, these come through at 6500K. And if you're curious, the length of the E03R V2 is 2.07 inches or just under 53 millimeters, and the width is 1.02 inches or 26 millimeters. So that also stands at a height of about half an inch, 13 millimeters or 0.51 inches. And by itself, this thing will run 30 grams or 1.06 ounces. So you probably wouldn't even feel it on your keychain. So let's set this down, go through the packaging, and find out everything that comes with. So first off, it did come inside this somewhat sealed package with a blister pack underneath. But if we look at the front, you can see that it does have that 30-gram lightweight notification here. Lets you know that it is Type-C USB charging, white and red LED light sources, and it comes with a limited lifetime warranty. So we'll go ahead and flip it over, and you'll see all those specifications as far as the 500 lumen high output. That'll run for an hour 20 and 2082 candelas. Medium's 150 lumens. That'll run for 2 hours with 50 meters of throw at 630 candela. Low is 30 lumens. That'll run for 6 hours 35 minutes at 20 meters or 127 candela. And eco, you do have a 5 lumen eco mode that'll run for those 30 hours with 9 meters of throw at 20 candela. Now this is also right here 1 meter impact resistance rating and IP66 water resistant. So let's get this out of the way and see everything else that comes with it. Now for starters, I will say that this is probably one of the thickest user manuals I've ever seen, and that's kind of unusual considering it is a keychain light. But let's go ahead and assume for now that that means that you have a lot of features and options available for this light. So let's get this out of the way. They also include here a key ring so you can mount it onto your keys, as well as a little pamphlet here that runs through quite a few of their available lights. Flip this over for you. All right, and we'll keep moving. And the last piece of documentation that comes in it is your product warranty card. Now this is going to let you know that it does have that lifetime warranty or 2 years free part replacement. And in here, the last thing you get with this is a USB-C cable. It has USB-A on one end and USB-C on the other. That way you can keep your keychain light fully topped up. All right, with that packaging out of the way, let's go ahead and look at the actual light. Now you can see your model, your serial number here, a little indicator letting you know that yes, this will get warm. And there is quite a bit of machining on something this small. Now that's not a bad thing, it is very welcome, but it's going to give you a lot of textures to feel in something that is going to be potentially your always on the key backup light. So I'm quite a fan of it. This is a rather glossy gray, and on the Fenix website they do say that they also have a blue option available. But moving around, we can see the switch here dead center, And underneath it, there is actually, this is kind of a double-edged sword for me. So now it does say press 3 seconds to unlock or lock the light. However, I think having the extra print on here kind of detracts from the look, if I'm being honest. So you do have the E03R V2 as well as the Fenix logo. And if we flip to the back, you can see that it doesn't want you to throw it out and that it is certified. And if we look at the side, you can see that it does have a machining groove in here. That's also going to help facilitate more or extra grip. And I feel like the machining on here is intentional because it is so glossy. Now, if this were matte, I feel like this would be quite a bit grippier from the start. But since it is pretty glossy and shiny, I think that all this extra machining is there to help facilitate that grip. So if you notice, you will see a white line around this switch, and that white line is actually a diffused light, and that's going to give you a green and a red pulsed light, which we will go through here shortly. On the side, you do see a rubber flap here, and that's going to expose your USB-C charging. And you hook up that USB-C charging, and you can charge this 400 milliamp hour battery pack, like I said, so you can always keep it topped off. At the bottom of the light, you will see almost like shoulders coming to a hollow hole. Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense because a hole is hollow. But that hole will allow you to use the included keyring and attach it to your keys. That way, whenever the darkness comes, you will be ready with a light. So now if we move towards the business end, you will see again, they look almost like small Fresnel lenses, but these are TIR optics on the two 6500K white emitters. And in the center, you do have that red LED, which again, we'll go through the user interface. That way you can see everything that this light can do. But it's just amazing how they have 3 LEDs up front, as well as a red and a green inside the switch. And I mean, that's 5 indicators right there, and something that could literally disappear in the palm of my hand. So guys, if we're going to look at the user interface, now if I hit the button right now, you will see that it is just going to flash a couple times, letting me know that it is locked out. If I go ahead and hold it for 3 seconds, like that shows right here, 1, 2, 3. All right, so now we have the light on. So from here with the light unlocked, you can go ahead and press for a ½ second to turn on and off the light. Or you can press for 1.2 seconds and turn on the red light. There we go, we got the red light. And while we're in red light, we can go ahead and click the switch one single time, and that'll switch between the red and the red flashing mode. But if we're in white light, we can go ahead and press and go between eco, low, medium, and high. Now while the light is off and it's unlocked, we can double press the switch, and that will move these battery indicators over to a breathing light, just to let you know in the dark or whenever you need it exactly where it's at. They light up pretty bright, but if red's not your favorite color, you can go ahead and press it one time, and that will switch to green. Then if you press one more time, it will switch to alternating red and green. Now this is a little faster pace, but this might be exactly what you're looking for, just so you can identify exactly where your light is every single time. Now it is nice to note that it does have an intelligent memory circuit, so if we turn on the light, right now I'd say, well, let's go ahead and cycle through. So we're in low mode right now, and if I shut off the light, and then I decide to turn it back on, it will go back into low. So that's a lot of features out of one single button, and it can be a little overwhelming, but the instructions do indicate all of this very, very clearly, and it becomes second nature in no time. So when it comes to charging, now it is important to note that it does have USB-C, so you do get the wonderful choice of using any of the thousands of cables you have. You don't need to worry at all about making sure that you don't have a data cable or do have a data cable or anything like that, because it is just taking some juice. So I plug this in, and you can see that you do have a battery indicator here. Now it'll shine red while it is charging, and as soon as it is done, which actually should be pretty soon because I did just fully top this off, but as soon as it is done charging, this red surrounding light will turn green. And for me, this took just over an hour. Now you're not going to get any power bank features from this. It's not built into the circuit, but it's such a small battery that it wouldn't really provide much use anyways. One important thing to note though is you can press this while the light is off, and you will get a battery indicator shining here. So when it's green, that lets you know that the battery is between 85 and 100%. If the green light flashes, that's going to let you know that it's between 50 and 85%. If it's red, that means you're between 25 and 50%. And if that red light flashes, make sure you get to that USB-C cord quickly, because that means you are between 1 and 25%. Now, once that battery is low, it will drop into eco mode, and that means that the battery indicator is going to blink 3 times every 10 minutes, just as a reminder that you do need to get to that charger. So now that we've checked out this user interface, I want to go ahead and get this up next to the Woobin G2. Now we've compared the G2 to quite a few different options, and you can see here that the E03R from Fenix is quite a bit smaller in its length. However, it is a little wider, and if we stack them on top of each other, they're almost identical as far as width. And both running at 500 lumens, it'll be interesting to see these compared outside, because this does have the 2 smaller reflectors, while this has 1 large, very wide reflector. So my suspicions, especially after looking at it on my hands, is going to be that we're going to get a little more throw out of this, and this is going to appear much more floody. So let's get these outside, and we'll go ahead and compare them. All right, guys, so we're outside, and we're going to compare the Fenix E03R V2 as well as the Woobin G2. So I think it's all going to come down to, on this particular case, I think it's all going to come down to the fact that you have those 2 small reflectors with the LEDs behind it on the E03R V2, and for the G2 you have that 1 single optic, but it is much, much wider. So let's get into it. We have the E03R V2. We're going to start in low and ramp up. So here's low. Medium, high, and turbo. Now this is full output from the Fenix E03R V2. And to compare, we have the Woobin G2. Here's low, medium, high, even higher, and then if you double tap you get turbo. Now this is 500 lumens from the Woobin G2, but it is all flood. And we'll run through the E03R V2 one more time. Let's start in low, medium, high, and turbo. All right, so now it's your guys' turn to tell me what you thought of the optics differences in the E03R V2 and the Woobin G2. Now let's get back inside. All right, guys, we saw the Woobin G2 compared to the star of this show, at least, the Fenix E03R V2. Now, I was not surprised at all when I saw the fact that this did have quite a bit more throw than the G2, but the G2 gave a lot more flood. So it's really going to come down to, what do you like best? Do you want a little bit more throw? Do you want a bit of flood? I mean, that's really going to be the determining factor here. But we're here talking about we're here talking about the E03R V2. So frankly, guys, I liked it. I like a nice keychain light. I tend to always have a keychain light on my keys, and I think this will be a fantastic long-term test. And believe me, I will check back in with you guys and let you know exactly how it holds up. But I like the fact that this is so incredibly small, and I don't feel like this is going to take up a ton of room on my keys. I tend to be more minimalist as far as what I'm carrying on me. If I can get by with a smaller flashlight, I'm going to. If I can get by with less stuff on my keychain, I'm going to. But I like the fact that this puts out that 500 lumens and is still very compact. Again, I love the machining on this. I think it looks fantastic. I think the only downfall is probably going to be the fact that you do have quite a bit of a learning curve as far as this user interface goes. Other than that, I don't think there's any real potential downfalls for this. So tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. And again, I'll check in with you as soon as I've run this for even longer. I'll probably keep it on my keychain for the next 2 months or so and touch base with you guys again. So just that quick recap, it's a very well made light. I like the fact that it has some intricate machining. So for something that is incredibly slick, you do still get quite a bit of grip on it. And once you have that user interface down, I think that this is going to be a welcome addition in anyone's arsenal. So guys, go ahead and check out Fenix.com. Check out the E03R. Tell them James sent you. And that's it for today. So thank you guys. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.